Howdy folks. We're going to be talking about polishing. A little bit of porting, but more on the polishing. Okay. This is the brand new cylinder head for the Rabbit project. Okay. I've almost got these two done. I'm just capping them off. This is a nice Spanish cast head. Okay, this was made in Spain. The big thing is that if you look down in this port, it's rough as a corn cob. Now, I have been slowly working my way to a high polish on this. Now, some of you out there are going to put it down in the comments, and I'm going to stop you right now. This is a diesel engine. This does not work on the same principle as a gasoline engine. These ports do not see fuel. Under normal conditions, these ports never see fuel. The fuel is not entered into the combustion chamber through these ports. You flip the head over. These are the ports that the fuel gets entered into. And then these ones are for the glow plugs. These are where the injectors live. Okay? And they spray fuel directly into the cylinder. So, there is no fuel. Okay? There is no fuel that goes through these ports. So, keep that in mind. If you're doing this on a gas motor, yeah, you kind of want to leave the intake ports rough. A little rough, not total, but exhaust ports make them as smooth as glass. Okay? Now, because this is a diesel, I can literally make these things smooth as glass and they're fine. But how do we do this? How do we know that, in the polishing, how do we know that we're not taking too much material off? Well, we bolt our gasket to the head, and these are just some bolts that fit into the bolt holes. And then right there. Then we come in, put your fingers on the gasket so it don't move. And we come in and we mark the port. Okay? And you do that for each and every one of them so that you know that that is your stop point. You cannot go any further than that. Because in the polishing step, even if you're not doing a full port job, you're just doing a polish, you are taking material off. Now, another thing that you've got to be aware of is that there is water running around these ports. So you don't want to get too stupid aggressive taking material out. Carbide burr. Yeah, it'll get you there really quickly. So make darn sure that you know what the heck you're doing, especially when you're running the die grinder. This thing is screaming at 30,000 RPM. This is taking material off now. Now, you can go down to the hazard fraught, and you can go and get some sanding, this kit. Okay, it comes with the 2 sticks, of which I've duct taped 220 grit to. But you know, all you do is you load your sanding discs. This will fit into the die grinder. If you don't have one of these, you can do it with a standard drill, but trust me, it's a lot better with the die grinder. Now, if you've got a high-end Dremel tool, you know, rotary tool, you can do it with one of these. It's just that you run into that problem, okay, where, so if you're going to run one of these, make sure you get the flexible shaft so that you can actually get in there. Little tidbit of information for you. Now, when it comes to the high polish, the ultra high polish, you're going to, once you're done with the sanding rolls, you're going to come in there with the 240. I just got it on a roll. You know, hack off what I need. And, okay. So, once you're done with that, then, you know, move on to something like 1,000 grit. You know, something really fine. Once you're done with that, if you still want to go further, they do make buffing wheels that go into the die grinder. And I'd suggest starting with the black compound. Do not ram this tool into it, but kind of work with it. And then what I'm going to do after I get done running the black, I'm going to finish it off with a high polish green stuff. So, okay, folks, it's going to take you a lot of time. If you got some actual common sense, this is not that difficult. Okay? And you do the same thing for the exhaust port, okay? Okay, so as you can see, I've got to take a lot more meat off these exhaust ports than I do the intake ports. That's fine. Now, is this going to be the end-all be-all video of porting? No. But it's going to get your ports to where they're going to make better flow. You know, and as we all should know, an engine is just an air pump. That's all it's doing, is just pulling air in and pushing it out. It's just that it produces its own power, okay? So, clean up the ports, make sure you don't hit your water jackets. So, I'm pretty good with this casting because they did make a really thick runners, and I can see that from this side's got a water port hole where actually this would go to the heater core, and I can see in here, and I mean we've got at least a good 1/8 inch of meat on these ports. So divide that in half. You know, you still got a good 1/16 of an inch of material to play with, and realistically, you're not gonna want to be just grinding the piss out of these, because this does change your power band. It kind of pushes it further up the RPM range. So the bigger the port, the more it goes up the RPM range. Yes, you're making more power, but that's something for another video. This video, we're just going to be talking about realistically the porting. If you want me to make a video on why it goes up the power band, put it down in the comments and I'll do it, okay? Now, realistically, folks, to get the most out of a porting job, you want to pull your valves out. You want to work from the bowls inside and really shape it that way. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the porting on the actual ports, not the bowls. So, am I going to gain metric tons of power? No, but I am going to gain a couple horse out of this, okay? So, and another thing about this, you really should inspect these ports. If you've got a brand new cylinder head, really inspect these ports for debris or garbage that has gotten into these ports. And in like my case, where I've got a single overhead cam, where this is a pre-built, pre-assembled head, all I gotta do is put the bolt in, and I can turn the cam, and these valves will open for me. Now, if you're working like on a small block Chevy or small block Ford or an LS, you're gonna have to pretty much figure out a way to clean while the actual valve is closed. So keep that in mind. I've just went in with the ports and just used some good old-fashioned compressed air. This brings up the other point. When you are doing this, make sure you wear your PPE. Some safety goggles, maybe even a respirator, and maybe even a set of gloves would be nice. So don't be stupid and be doing this, in a goddamn bikini. And okay, that's the extreme. But take your own safety with at the turn, okay? Your own safety's in your own hands. Just remember that. Okay? So, and I've just brake press cleaner. Okay? That's pretty much all I've been using to clean the ports. That and, of course, the paper shop towels. Okay? That's pretty much all I've been doing, and these ports have been coming up really clean. Now, like I said, I really want to show you folks down in there. Where's my... That's kind of why you want to run the brake parts cleaner right on top of that port, right on top of the valve. Right in there is a bunch of garbage. Put the flashlight back on it, and you'll see that that's a lot of debris and garbage down in there. So, and you're gonna see that in most of the ports. So, folks, like I said, take your own safety in your own hands. Is this gonna be perfect the first time you do it? No. But just take your time. Don't rush. If you're in a rush, don't even do it. If you need to get the friggin' vehicle out the door, don't even do this. So I hope that you learned a little bit of something. It's not as difficult as people think, but it is a time-consuming process. And yes, you can make this an art form. Okay? Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.